one of the foundational concepts of the Postural Restoration Institute is that the human body is not symmetrical. We are very different right to left. In our nervous system, in our bodily systems, there's not one system in the human body that is the same. So if you look at my body, you can see that I have 2 arms and 2 legs. But if you cut me in half and created like a septum in the middle of my body and opened me up, there's not a mirror image on the right side of my body as there is on the left side. Our organ placement is different. We have a respiratory system that is fundamental to the science of PRI. Breathing is movement. Breathing is the nervous system. And we have a very asymmetrical system in the respiratory system. We have 3 lobes of lung tissue on the right side. We have 2 lobes of lung tissue on the left side. We have a diaphragm that sits underneath our lung tissue that's asymmetrical. Your right hemidiaphragm is bigger, it's larger, and it sits higher than your left hemidiaphragm. Your pericardial sac sits left of center on top of your left hemidiaphragm. The anatomy of this muscle is asymmetrical in the size, in the dimension, where it attaches to, and the organs that lie underneath it in the digestive system. So on the right side, we have a 2 to 3 pound organ called the liver that sits underneath the dome of the right hemidiaphragm. On the left side, we have a spleen and a stomach, and as you know, the stomach can kind of change its size and shape as we eat and digest food. So as we breathe, our diaphragm is going to ascend and descend. It's going to descend as you take air in, and it's going to ascend as you take air out. The right side of the diaphragm comes down and attaches to your lumbar spine. And studies have shown that the diaphragm goes down 1 to 1.5 levels lower on the right side than it does on the left side. So as we breathe, we have an autonomic nervous system that is going to create the respiratory system. What you're going to learn in this class is just because you breathe, it doesn't mean you necessarily breathe to your full potential. You're going to develop some asymmetrical movement patterns around the pull and the position of this asymmetrical diaphragm. The diaphragm comes down and attaches to the lumbar spine along with the psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle tendons and the diaphragm crural tendons start to attach to each other. So if you're dealing with patients that have hip flexor tightness and tone, that they can't stretch those muscles out, we're going to show you another way to use respiration to help get muscles to let go. This is a nervous system course. When I don't know how long it took me to realize that in the early days of PRI, because I was taking hip courses and rib courses from Ron, and then finally I had like this major epiphany. I will not tell you that I'm the brightest bulb in the box, but I'm a hard worker, and I kept at it, and I finally realized, oh, I can't stretch that muscle out. That muscle is in a position to be active. And I need to use the concepts of facilitation and inhibition to get muscles to learn how to relax and let go. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the sympathetic drive that our patients are under and the parasympathetic state that we need to get them in to get these polyarticular chains of muscles to get in a better position for human function. So respiration, human asymmetry, and there's so much more to that science. The way our brains develop. We have a left brain that has more neuromuscular control centers than our right brain. We're all hardwired to be a little right side dominant. We're heavier over here. Our axis of rotation puts us easily on one side, the right side. And if you want to see it, just watch me all weekend. Because when I start getting going on a point, you're going to see me move into a pattern of right-sidedness. Because I'll tell you this, Andrew, and I think you know this and appreciate this, I am very right-sided. I'm going to think better over here. I'm going to breathe better over here. I'm going to be able to teach a point better when I'm standing on my right leg. And I'll tell you this, because I've been at this for a while. Whenever I go to stand on my opposing side, my left side, there was a little conscious thought that went into that. I thought about getting over here. My muscles have been retrained so that I can get over here and activate the appropriate muscles around my hip and pelvis and trunk. But I had to give it a little extra thought because I'm working against a very innate pattern in my human body that puts me over on the right side.